We heard from Mr. Gourlan-Michales about the increased business he's doing in the Middle East and in the Gulf states in particular, increased port calls and a recent big deal. What do you see as the shifting patterns of world trade and container shipping in particular, and how will those affect the Greek shipping industry?
What other speakers said previously is this hub and spoke concept has become and will become increasingly more important, especially as other hubs are formed, like the hub in Kuwait that we heard about that is being developed, so that regional trade will grow off those hubs. I think Dr. Koustas can also tell us a little more on how these ports, the regional ports and the regional feeder container ships operate in this region. But I think that's the direction it's going to go.
And what will be the impact, you think, of higher than average growth rates for the Gulf countries, which we're seeing today?
Well, the Gulf countries, I had a look, and you know, you got countries with 80 million people and more, and you got some really small countries. You got some countries that have a very high GDP per capita. You have some countries that have a very low GDP per capita. So if one looks at the region, you want to grow business in the region, you'd need to think a little and do a little more analysis. I was talking to Harry earlier, and for example, countries that don't have a high GDP per capita but are big countries would use stuff like LPG a lot more than countries that have their own energy, electricity sources. Obviously, the bigger countries that we would use container shipping more because they'd need more to import more goods. So I think it takes a deeper look at those countries and a deeper look at their economies to understand how this will affect the trade routes and shipping and the growth.
Just to add to that, it's a pity that the GCC countries have so much investment firepower and so much of their own cargoes, both in energy and not only, and they control so little of the global fleet. This is a very weird phenomenon. Imagine Greece, that doesn't have the financial firepower of the Middle Eastern countries, doesn't have its own cargoes. We import and export extremely little quantities, and we have the world's largest fleet in both dry bulk and tankers and probably now gas. And we are also growing in containers. So if we combine our forces, the Middle Eastern countries put what they're good at and what they have, and we put our expertise and knowledge, we can create a leading champion in the shipping industry. Like I told you, it has happened in a smaller scale with some companies, but not in a bigger scale. I was in Abu Dhabi in a conference, and I told them, and a lot of companies there were interested because they agreed. Why be dependent to carry so much of your energy sources in third-party tonnage when you can do it in a joint venture and save money and have bigger profitability? So anyway, this is some food for thought. I would like to ask a question about another, which is quite recent development. I'd like to ask Mr. Cambanis, what is his view on the Ebola virus and shipping?
I think that's a really huge problem that is affecting shipping deeply. This Sunday is the Greek Marathon, and our firm has 150 people running for the Doctors Without Borders to collect money for Ebola. And we're paying a lot of attention to it because you know, it's something that is contained in 2 or 3 countries now, but For a country like ours, where we travel all the time, our crews travel all the time, they go to exotic places. If it hits Europe like it started in Spain and Germany, it could become a very, very, very serious problem. So, yes, there is concern.
Do you want to say